Hi everybody, this is going to be part 2 of 6892 New Look. We left at the sleeve. Now, it's essentially, you're just going to do the exact same thing that we did on the pattern before. I did a video on this. But if you just want to watch this, we're under tornado watch, flood warning, hurricane watch. So I'm just coming in here. I'm going to try to get this finished up for you all. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to gather our sleeves at the bottom. This is where our band's gonna go, and it's just like this shirt. So let me get that ready. Okay, so we're gonna gather the bottom part of our sleeve. So just make your zigzag as big as it'll go. And I'm using my butcher twine. You're gonna hear my bird. He's clicking away this afternoon. So just get your butcher twine right in the slit of your foot. And then hold this up so you're getting that string in between the zigzag. And I'm probably going in like 3/8. Okay, there's one sleeve. I'll get the other sleeve done. And then we'll start working on the band. Okay, don't forget to put your sewing machine back to straight stitch. If you want, you can trim off a little of this. You're not going to see it. So you're going to take your sleeve, and what I usually do, excuse me, is I'll fold these in half, and I'll put a little pin in, if I can. I don't have a safety pin. And that's just going to show my half mark, or you can mark it with a pin. Then I take my sleeve and I mark my half. Okay, start gathering your sleeve now. Now you're going to do this to both of them. And I usually just, oh, I'm stuck on a little something. Where's my, there. I usually gather to my pin. And then I just gather my other side. Okay, now you're going to put your sleeve in. You want right sides together. And you want the both raw edges together. Right sides together. Okay, let me get this switched over here. This is my seam. Okay, match up your seam. It's pouring out. We got a lake between the houses. Okay. Pin at your seam and then pin your middle. That middle mark. Okay, now you can play around with your gathering. And just try to get it so it's a pretty even gather all the way around on that one side. And pin it. Just be sure your edges, your raw edges meet. I love the banded sleeve. It's so much nicer than the elastic. Okay, then come to your other side and adjust your gathering. And pin it. Then you're going to sew this at 5/8. And you're going to do this to both sleeves. Okay, once I have it pinned, I usually just kind of pull, not hard, but just pull it to be sure everything's pretty straight. Okay, so now you're going to sew this 5/8 all the way around and then pull out your gathering thread. So let me get that done. Okay, once you have that done, come to your iron. And this is where this little ironing board, sleeve ironing board, comes in handy. Now, put your shirt inside out. And you're going to fold this band up. Now you can trim off some of this if you want. This material's really light, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, you want to get this folded right above that seam line. And press it. And pin it. Be sure your seam is even. So just go around and just get it just a little above that stitch line. And then you're going to sew this as close to this folded line as you can. Just be sure everything is nice and straight. Okay, keep going around. Okay. Then you're going to sew this. And do that to both, and I'll be back. And then just go to your ironing board and press it down once you have it sewn. And I have this other shirt on, but this is what it'll look like. And it's not too tight and it's not too loose. Okay, let me get this other one done. Let me go check on the bird. He's been squawking about something. And then we'll put the sleeves on. And then we have to do the neckline and then just the hem. Now, if you don't want the elastic neck band, what you're going to have to do is gather from this shoulder to this shoulder. And then on the other side, start gathering it from this shoulder seam to this shoulder seam. And that way you have two parts where you can gather. Once you have it gathered, then you're going to have to use bias tape and sew the bias tape on, go through the gathering, and then flip it down inside, and you're going to have to tack it in. So I'm doing the elastic today. But anyways, let me get this other one done. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. I don't know where I put my coffee. And then I'll be right back. So at this time, if you could please like, share, subscribe, comment, thumbs up. I have to make the video also for the giveaway for the pattern for September. So I'll get that done today. I was just real busy yesterday with all this hurricane prep. So I'll be back. Okay, when you're doing your next cuff, just measure to be sure that you're getting the right size. I'm just a little less than 1.5. So you just want to be sure, measure your other cuff. And that way you know your sleeves will be even. Also, before we sew them on, we measure them to be sure that they're even. Okay, let me get this one sewn up. Okay, so when you get them done, just from your seam to seam, be sure that you're even. Okay, now we're going to put on the sleeves. I'm probably going to have to make another bobbin. Okay, this is the right side. This is front. Okay, now on your seams, or on your sleeves, you have a double notch. Oops, wasn't looking. You have a double notch and a single notch. So you want to be sure that you get the right sleeve. So here's my single and here's my double notch. So you want to be sure that you get these right. So with right sides together, this is my right side. Okay, it's the other sleeve I need. Yep, here's my double. So pin this, matching your notches. Ooh, that wind's starting to kick up again. Okay, match your seam. And this is going to be a 5/8. Match those notches up. I might be able to get this one done without changing my bobbin. We'll see. Okay, so sew this all around at 5/8. Then from notch to notch, sew on the same seam, and that's going to reinforce your underarm. Now just be sure everything is nice and straight. Here we go. Okay, I'll get this sewn up, and then I'll get the other one put on, and then we'll continue. Now when you're sewing, be sure you put your hand under here. Be sure all this is nice and straight. That you don't have any buckle under your underarm. So just keep going. And I'm just going to take my pinking shears and I'm going to trim just notch to notch. So it's like that. Okay, there's our first one. Show ya. Okay, there's the first one. See, this is going to be all elastic. But all right, let me get my other sleeve on and put a new bobbin in. I don't want to chance it. But just right sides together. And match your notch. And your seam. Okay, see there's my single notch. So we got the right sleeve on the way it should be. Okay, notch to notch. And you can do this with a lot of patterns. The French seam, like the pajama pants, and just really if you have leftover material. It's a way to use it up and you get an extra shirt or pajama pants. One just has the French seams all the way around, which I think is quite pretty myself. It's different. Nobody's gonna have a shirt like you have. Okay, let me get this one sewn up. Change my bobbin, I think. Okay, and I'll be back and we'll do the neckline. Okay, now get your bias tape. And we're gonna sew this all along this whole neck shoulder line. Now, if you don't want the elastic, like I said, you're gonna have to gather this from shoulder seam to shoulder seam. So you're gonna have two pieces so you can pull it. You're gonna have to try it on and see where you want it with the gathering. Then you're gonna have to sew on your bias tape. And then turn it and then sew it again. So I'm using, let me see what this is, 1/2 inch. I'm gonna be using 1/4 inch elastic around. So I'm just gonna go to the sewing machine and I'm gonna open up one whole side of this. And then I'll start pinning it starting in the back. I'll start pinning it all the way around. Then we'll sew this at that crease. And remember, you have to leave an opening for your elastic to go through. But that's going to be pretty. So just come over to your ironing board and open up one edge of your bias tape. Just so it stays open. You don't have to steam it shut or anything. Just kind of just get it so it'll stay open. And then we'll place this on. Oh, I'm going to keep that. And you're going to start pinning in the back, because you don't want the seam showing in the front. So with right sides together. So this is my front. So right back here, I'm going to start pinning this. And just leave a little extra, because you're going to have to fold it. And all right, so start pinning this all the way around. Get this as even as you can to these edges. I still got to make my bobbin. So just keep going around. And you don't want to pull it tight, because that's where you're going to get like a bunch. So what you can do, oh, let me open up this seam. Okay. Is you can just push it just a little when you're going around the corner. And that's just going to give it a little leeway. Okay, let me get this pinned up, get my bobbin made, and I will return. Okay, I'm all pinned around. When you get to the end, the first piece that you put down, you're gonna fold it over and then put the piece, the top piece on. That way, so when it turns, you have a nice seam. Okay, you're gonna sew this all the way around. We don't have to leave an opening yet till we sew it on the bottom. But this is gonna keep our top nice and straight. I'm just listening to the wind. It's crazy out there. Okay, I'm back. I had to let my dogs out. I'm wet, but it's okay. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, once you sew your bias tape all the way around, you're gonna turn your shirt inside out. And then you're going to bring this bias tape right to this seam, just like this. You want it nice and straight on that. And then you're gonna press it. And pin it. Now you're gonna leave an opening for your elastic to go through. So I double pin, so I know that this is the spot that I'm gonna leave opened. And you wanna go about 2 inches away from your back end, where your seam is. Let me get this open. Here we go. Fold that again, just so. I'll get it when I come around. It'll be easier, I think. So get this just as even as you can. And just keep pinning around till you get it all done. It's hot. Okay, so get this all pinned around, and I'll be back. And take your time going around your round area, because you want to get that stretched out and rounded. hear my bird. Okay, so keep going around. Like I said, just kind of stretch it and around your corner so you can get a nice rounded edge. Okay, now you're gonna sew from this double pin, and sew as close as you can all the way around till you hit this double pin. And this is where we're gonna put our elastic in. So just start with your needle down. Try to get it as close as you can to that edge. And then sew all the way around. Okay, so once you get that done, before I put my elastic in, I have my tags, because sometimes these are hard to figure out which is the front and back. I'm just gonna iron on my tag right now. My pin's in the front, and then I can take out my pin and use it for my elastic. So there's my tag. Okay, get your elastic. Like I said, I'm using 1/4 inch elastic. And run it through. Then you're gonna have to try your shirt on and get it to fit right around your neck, like this one. So I bought this off of Amazon. I can't remember how many yards of it is, but it's 1/4 inch elastic. And I've used a lot of it, and I still have tons. So it's cheaper to get it this way than it is in the packages. So just find your little hole, and then just start threading your elastic through. Now keep the elastic straight, because sometimes it likes to curve and get twisted. So you just try to keep it as straight as you can going in. All right, let me get this all put in, try it on, and then I'll mark it. We'll sew the elastic together, then sew up this little piece, and then we only have the hem. Okay, once you get it measured, you're gonna just sew your elastic together. So just cut off some. Okay. Let me get it out from under here. There we go. All right, and we're gonna overlap this. So let me get this down here. So you're gonna sew it overlapping it like this. You're gonna sew here, here, and then down the middle. And that way it won't come apart. Now I usually put my work in front of me and lay down my elastic. Boy, you can hear that rain. And then just sew this way. Then come back, sew your other end. Okay, and then sew down the center. Okay, then you're gonna tuck this in. Okay, move it around. Okay, then come back and right here, you're just gonna sew that little opening. Okay, and now we have the hem. So this is gonna be a narrow hem. So I'm gonna turn under like a quarter and then turn under a quarter again and clip it. So have your shirt inside out. And if you don't have labels, what you can do is take a little piece of material just take a little piece of material and make like bias tape. Fold it in half and then fold it, and then fold it again. And then just cut it where you need it, and you can just sew on a little tab on the back of your shirt. I'll usually like take some in on each end of the fold and then come up, and then where my folds are, I'll sew. So I know I got my tags off of Amazon also. Okay, so what you want to do is give the body of the shirt a good ironing. Just so you know everything's even. Bird. I have to keep SpongeBob on when I'm sewing, so he's entertained. So get your shirt nice and straight and ironed out. And grab your clips. Okay, and I'm gonna start in the back. So just turn under a quarter. And go along your edge, folding a quarter. Then you're gonna come back and you can turn it a quarter, or if you want it a little shorter, you can always do like a 1/2 inch, or whatever you like on your hem. So let me get this done. Hey everybody, here it is. I did a 1/4 inch, and then I did 3/4 inch. got my elastic. This was just all scrap material that I had left over from, I think the nightgown or something that I made. So, but we just came under a tornado warning, so I'm gonna cut this short. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, thumbs up. I think this is a really fun pattern to use up scrap with. And that's about it. So I have to go get ready just so in case we get a tornado. But I just wanted to make one comment. Somebody said they loved my channel, but they didn't like my hat back there. They didn't like mixing politics with my sewing channel. It's just my hat. It's not meaning anything. This is my room. This is my sewing room. And I have a bunch of stuff in here. So I'm not promoting anybody. It's just sitting there. It was from somebody special to me. So that's why I have it in here. So with that, I will bid everybody a good night. Stay safe. And I will see you either tomorrow or the next day. We have to see what this storm is going to do. We're down in Central Florida, so hopefully by tonight it will be moving away. Oh, just one other thing. If you don't like your sleeves this loose, you can always take that elastic thread and go along this seam right here, and it will tighten it up. But I just like them, you know, a little bit looser. So it's just your preference. So anyways, with that, you all have a good night. You know, stay safe, and we will see you later.